Dreams are weird. If you've ever had a dream, you know just how weird they can be. Reality for us means nothing when we close our eyes and let our imagination run wild. Unhindered by concepts like logic or reasoning, dreams can be whatever they want to be. They can send you to any world, any time, to do anything. Their only limitation is the human imagination, and sometimes even that can be called into question. Yet, one cannot talk about dreams without discussing their opposite. Nightmares are the antithesis of dreams. While one uses the peak of human imagination and creativity to spark joy and curiosity, the other uses those same ingredients to prey on our fears. Our insecurities, our self-doubts. Is it really any wonder why so many stories turn to nightmares as a source of conflict? What better story device is there than having our heroes face the worst their imagination has to offer? Well, how about one where our hero becomes his own nightmare?
When you're the guy who's always got a grin on his chin and a quip on his lips, people don't like it when you're not smiling. Makes them feel uncomfortable. Probably because when their day sucks, they always feel they can rely on you to cheer them up. Or at least give them some hope it's gonna get better. But usually, it doesn't get better. I've had some messed up dreams in my day. Lucid ones, where everything feels real. Even went up against a guy named the Sleep Stealer in his nightmare world. But this dream doesn't feel like that one. I mean, there's something vaguely familiar in the visuals. A similar palette? A tonal pastiche? I can't shake the feeling I've been here before. The only thing I do know is that I'm really, really angry and can't stop smashing stuff. I wonder if this is how the Hulk feels.
In early 2022, Marvel announced a new limited series called Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. A revolutionary dark take on Spider-Man, says the synopsis. And while I wouldn't go that far after having read all 5 issues, I will say that this story has some very interesting things to discuss. And since the mainline Spider-Man comic is, less than appealing at this point, I figured that it could be fun to shine a light on this series. To talk about the things I love, the things that could be better, and how this comic subverted my expectations in a way I never imagined. Negatively. Kind of. It's weird, it's complicated, we'll get to it. First, I must warn you, I will be going into spoilers for the comic. If you wish to read it yourself, this video will be here waiting. While the Tim Burton-esque art is something I'll touch on in a moment, for now I want to draw your attention to the way the panels are drawn. Every panel either fades into the next or is separated with a black border. There is a chaos, an intentional messiness to the order of the panels. These borders between them do not make straight lines. There's always a curve, a hitch, something wrong. A stylistic choice to differentiate scenes within the dream from those of our waking world. With a blink, Peter finds himself awake, and instantly you can tell the difference. While the panels within the dream, the nightmare, were covered in oppressive darkness, the pages in reality, the real world, are bordered with thick and straight white lines. They're organized. They make sense. There's a straightforward structure here to make them look more conventional while creating a stellar contrast with the dream world. Through the book, we see various transitions between the two. Each one is more creative and nefarious than the last. Sometimes, the dream world simply takes over, dragging Peter into its realm without warning. Other times it's a slow transition where the darkness creeps into our peripherals, just out of sight yet never out of mind, ready to take us if caught unaware. Much of this wouldn't mean much if the art itself wasn't as breathtaking as it is. Artist Juan F. has done some truly incredible work for both Marvel and DC. This page, this one right here, is quite possibly my favorite page in the entire book. Great use of paneling, and the art just truly sells it. It feels like a children's horror book in the best way. It makes me nostalgic for stories like The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. It's madness made reality. Unfortunately, I wish the story was half as captivating as the art. We have a strong first few issues, introducing us to the insanity Peter is going through. There's a lot of fun comic book science jargon in here, and we're introduced to Crystal, Peter's coworker, and our secondary lead later in the book. She's an alright addition, but she doesn't have a lot to do until the book randomly decides, hey, she's an equal player to Peter. Which is fine, there's just nothing real interesting about her or what she offers the narrative. Peter isn't all that interesting in this book either. He's pretty much your standard quippy Spider-Man. Fun enough, but he doesn't have the extra sauce to engage you. I find the magic comes from Spidey's slipping perception of reality. Through these issues, we see him flip-flop between the nightmare world and his reality. It gets to the point where the nightmare slips into the waking world, corrupting it for Peter and making him unable to separate the two. Just like I struggled to. When these security guards became a monster, I was sure Peter was hallucinating monsters out of people. So when this happened, I assumed Spider-Man just killed 2 people. Same with all those horrific monsters that he just mows down. It got me excited, it got me pumped, thinking that this version of Peter was being driven to murder without even realizing it. Then it turns out, this is canon Peter, and these are just dream monsters. So to get this out of the way, when you title a book Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, call it a revolutionary dark take on Spider-Man, and have the main cover of number 1 of the trade paperback be an evil Spider-Man standing over his dead friends, there's gonna be some expectations headed into this book now, isn't there? Namely, I wanted a Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man. A revolutionary dark take on Spider-Man, and for him to interact with literally any of his established circle of characters. We got none of that. I mean, we have a scene where he violently kills the Avengers and others, except they're fake demon nightmare versions of the Avengers, and as Peter says, there's no consequence for killing them. As it goes, the story is just fine. It's enjoyable, but frustratingly so, because it's always scratching at interesting ideas. It's always just on the edge of being something actually different, instead of just another weird adventure in the life of Spider-Man. It's by the book superhero shenanigans. And Dream Spider. I don't know about her. She's a cool idea, but half-baked in every sense of the word. Crystal gets these awesome new powers, one chance to show them off, and then goes off to do science for the rest of the issue. I really wish Crystal had more to do in the story overall, if she was going to be this central of a character. Alas, she's just regulated to just being out there, somewhere. Another Spider-Person in 616. The ideas here are amazing, the way the art conveys them equally so. However, they're just ideas at the end of the day. The execution of those ideas sadly falls flat for me. So why talk about this book at all? Why give a damn if I don't enjoy it? Well, those ideas. They're still tantalizing, aren't they? Those dark dreams that hide in your darkest imaginations. Always waiting, always scheming. With a malicious madness you'll never understand. In a world too bizarre, a feeling too horrifying, a fear so primal. Maybe that idea of waking nightmare threatening to consume you and everything you love, is why despite the story's clear flaws, I still can't help but be intrigued. Why, so long after it came out, I still find myself coming back to read it again and again. Or maybe the art of Deadly Spider-Man is just that good. Who knows? I'm just a dumb YouTuber. Right?